My amplified unit. What's up, guys? This is an update to the video I put up yesterday regarding the Sasha Banks situation. And boy, do we have a situation on our hands. I told you guys in that video we were going to find out a lot more in the next 24 to 48 hours. Well, it only took 12 hours. A lot of people stepped up with new information. Her own peers in the locker room are coming out on social media. And let's just say they're not giving her words of encouragement. I'll get to that in a couple minutes. First, want to apologize. Obviously, we're not in our normal setting. It's the weekend. We have a lot to do, and I should have been doing it about 20 minutes ago. But typical me. So, as Elias would say, walk with Elias, drive with BC. Although, don't worry, we're not actually going to be driving while making this video because when I get amplified, I don't like to do two things at once. I like to give you guys my direct, full focus and attention. And we might get amplified here, man. I don't know. I got to call out some bullshit. But I don't want to take too much of your guys' weekend either. So I'll try to go through this new information kind of quick. Again, if you didn't check out the video I put up yesterday, check it out. That's got the whole situation that we knew at the time, which was Sasha Banks being unhappy, dropping the titles at WrestleMania 35. Telling Vince she quits, she's done. Suits and Ties telling her to take some time, think about it. She canceled her Wendy Williams appearance, citing family emergency, and then we found out she traveled on vacation that same day. So apparently it seems Sasha doesn't care which bridges she's burning. She's just unhappy. She wants to get away. So that's all in that video, guys, along with my commentary and thoughts on the situation. But this is the new developing, or should I say new developments that we have now this morning, early on a Saturday morning too. So more will be developing throughout the weekend, obviously. But many sources say now that Sasha and Bayley were seen laying on the floor of the locker room and at their hotel in front of one of their rooms, loudly making it known that they were unhappy about losing the tag titles. So basically they were making a scene, not just in the locker room, but also at their hotel later that night. So this goes to show you that the original reports were correct. Losing the tag titles meant something much deeper than any of us could have ever imagined for Sasha and Bayley. Although, I gotta be honest, I knew exactly what those titles meant to Sasha and Bayley because I know what this business means to them. And that's where all the idiots are now coming out. All the Sasha Banks haters that like to call her entitled or that she's whining, she's complaining, she's bitching. Mike Kanellis put it best. I never thought I'd be putting Mike Kanellis over, but Mike Kanellis had one of his fans ask on social media. They said, Mike, what do you think about the entitled brat complaining and bitching about not getting her way? And Mike Kanellis said, what you call complaining and bitching, I call passion and loving what you do for a living. I love that about Mike Kanellis, man. He really stepped up and even on one of his own fans had to put them in check, put them in place and put them back in bounds. Because you call her entitled, you call her whining and complaining, she's taking what she's doing with passion and pride. She loves it. She wanted to make these titles prestigious, something that we're lacking in this business. You don't like that? You honestly are going to look at Sasha Banks as the bad guy here when she was trying to make the titles prestigious? And that she didn't get her way, you're claiming. She's whining and bitching because she didn't get her way. Guys, she's been irrelevant and in obscurity for 2 years now. They finally threw her tag titles. And we knew what that was, just to shut them up and put them in the corner. This wasn't supposed to be anything. This was Vince's way to keep them out of the main title picture. So, yeah, she has every right to bitch, as you call it, complain, whine, be entitled. She was told that when she gets the tag titles, they were going to be able to defend it on Raw, SmackDown, NXT. They were going to have a real chance to be fighting champions. So they went out, based on what they were told, they went out on all of their public platforms, all of their public appearances, and they said they were going to be fighting champions and fight on every brand. Anywhere that they needed to be, they would be. And a month and a half later, Vince changed his mind and said, you're dropping the tag straps. At WrestleMania, in a fatal four-way schmaz, 8 women going for 2 straps. So even when she dropped the titles, which was a last-minute change in plans, she dropped it in a way that was not respectable at all. There was 8 women going for 2 titles. Nobody was going to be talking about that match going forward. A month from now, you will have already forgotten about that match. This week, you probably already forgotten about that match. Those titles went from a chance to being prestigious to already a joke, and it has nothing to do with them being on the Iconics. It's just now they're just like every other title. They're going to be hot potato. That's what you're telling us. That's why Sasha is infuriated. See, she said that they fought for those tag titles for over a year. Vince finally gave it to them, and that's what they fought for? It's bad enough Vince doesn't see her as a main event talent. She's not going for the Raw or SmackDown championships. Ever. This past Royal Rumble was a filler championship series. They found out 2 weeks before the match, they had the match, and then Sasha's right back in her tag team. So that whole thing with Ronda Rousey was just to get Ronda Rousey over to WrestleMania. Think clearly, guys. That's all that was. That was the last option that Vince had. It was her or Bayley. Those were the only superstars that Ronda didn't run through. And people actually believe their own bullshit. She's entitled. She's complaining because she didn't get her way. When you're that good and you didn't get your way for years, yeah, it's time to speak up. And she still didn't even hold Vince hostage and say, I want a Raw championship or a SmackDown championship. She was just saying, let me and Bayley create tag titles. We'll do the work. Let me and Bayley showcase the titles and we'll make them prestigious. Vince created the titles, thought that he was just going to throw them into the corner, brush them aside, not have to worry about them. Hey, we gave him the titles. And then he said, no, wait, these titles actually are something. Sasha and Bayley are making them something. I need to take them away. At a time in this company where every wrestler seems to be going through the motions, it is damn good to see somebody like Sasha who's finally showing passion. She always did. But it's good to see wrestlers showing passion. So I'll take more of that. Back in the day, you called it backstage politics. You called it shark-infested waters. And wrestlers would have to step over one another to take the top spots. But you know what it did? It created individuals that knew who they were. It created larger-than-life superstars. And those that weren't willing to fight for themselves or their spots or their storylines or their characters, they were what we called mid-card talent. Nowadays, it seems like nobody's willing to fight for their spot. Nobody's willing to voice their displeasure. They're all willing to follow suit, follow in line, and just collect their payday. Collect their paycheck and on to the next town. Wherever Vince has them or creative in that day, they'll go along. Please, sir, can I have some more? Nobody's willing to step up, and that's why everybody looks like mid-card talent today. Everybody. There's no main event caliber talent in WWE. Even Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre is booked like mediocre mid-card talent. That's how they're booked. Seth Rollins is your Universal Champion. If you look at his wins-loss column, he's 50-50 booked. So he's a mid-carder when it comes down to it. He's not a larger-than-life superstar. Everybody goes through the motions. We need more people like Sasha Banks willing to step up for themselves and for the profession. You people complain that people are going through the motions and the show seems stale and it's boring, it's repetitive. But then when somebody steps up, voicing their displeasure, saying, hey, these titles should have meant something. You didn't even give us a chance. You didn't give the titles a chance. Now those same people that are saying everyone's going through the motions, everything's repetitive, they're saying, oh, shut up. Everyone needs a turn at the titles. Everyone has to drop them. So you're part of the problem. You're not part of the solution. You're not helping the business. By calling Sasha Banks names on social media and trying to bring her down further, or blasting her, or trying to expose her, as you call it, you're just bringing the business more and more down. You're making WWE worse than it already is. Because you're making the suits and ties realize that What they're doing is fine. Let's keep hot potatoing the titles. Every one of them. And somebody the talent of Sasha Banks, the fact that she has to mingle around with tag titles, and even that she can't hold for more than 2 months, that is criminal. That's tragic. BC, she had her time with title. No, she didn't. She had 4 main title runs, and combined, they lasted, what, roughly a month, if even? 1 month, 4 title reigns. BC, it's time for new people. Okay, but I bet you those same people will be happy with Becky Lynch holding the title for 4 years. It's bad enough they didn't even give her lengthy single title runs. On top of that, in the past couple of years, they didn't even give her main storylines. She finally gets tag titles, and that's how she's done. She's done dirty. Bottom line, she was done dirty. She has every right to be pissed off. That's not an opinion, that's a fact. If you know what you're talking about in the pro wrestling business, the pro wrestling community, and you think your voice actually matters because you actually think you have a drop of common sense, even a dribble of logic in your don't piece, if you honestly believe that, then you know for a fact Sasha Banks has a gripe. She has every reason to be pissed off. That is what I want from a champion. That is what I want from my wrestlers. Passion. Give a fuck about your placement on the card. Give a fuck about where you are at as a character and where you are going. And if you have championships, you damn sure better care about making them prestigious. And when people are making that difficult for you, you step up, you stand up, you voice out your displeasures. And if people want to call you a crying bitch or a baby or a whiner or a complainer, they can step up, say it to your face, and be dealt with. Bottom line. Otherwise, sit behind your keyboard and play internet tough guy. People that have never been in that ring want to call other people bitchers and complainers. But when Nia Jax walked out, not for the betterment of the business, she walked out because she had a personal beef with Sasha, and she didn't want to do the job to Sasha. And when she came back, nobody cared. She even got a championship. Nobody gave a shit. Oh, relax, man. Nia's back. It's good. It's a good thing for business. She's a monster. Sasha does it, and everybody throws a fit. What an entitled brat. Her and Naomi are being brats, are they? Or are they just exceptional talent that are fed up with the bullshit and the politics behind it? And when I say politics, I'm not talking the good kind. As I aforementioned, the backstage politics when they were trying to one-up one another. These are the Vince needs his blonde bombshell politics. Becky Lynch is lucky she's an Irish woman, because Vince has that Irish blood. That's why she's getting that push. Otherwise, trust me, you better be blonde like Rhonda, like Charlotte, like Alexa, like Lacey Evans, who's catapulted already to a title match. You better be one of his blonde bombshells, because those are the politics that are going to ruin you. And it has nothing to do with anything you can actually change. Naomi's got all the athleticism in the world, a damn good wrestler. When Naomi is in a wrestling match, people like to dig her wrestling ability. That is somebody that doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about, I assure you. When you see Naomi in a wrestling match, who is captivating you? Who is the most exciting usually? It's rhetorical. It's Naomi. When you see Sasha Banks in a wrestling match, who are you watching more than anyone else? It's rhetorical. It's Sasha. And if they're in the ring together, get your popcorn and soda pop. It's going to be entertaining. And when they're not getting the time of day, that's when you have to speak out. Now listen, if they were on the floor of the locker room and on the floor of the hotel room, then maybe there's a better way to go about business, no question. That's an odd way to go about business. But I guess it's some type of protest, a 2-woman protest. I wish they gathered a lot of fans around the hotel or around the arena or whatever, brought them back, and they all just laid around. How cool would that have been, right? That would have been going viral right now. Sasha Banks, Bayley with like hundreds of fans, they all just take over the hotel, they all lay down and they protest. I would have loved it! And trust me, I hate this new PC era where we protest everything, but I'd actually be in that one. I'd be down for that. But, so that's the latest report, guys, that they were laying down and voicing their displeasure, and that's how upset they were. But again, I had to address the keyboard warriors that think there's some fucking tough guy by bringing down these ladies. You're a tough guy by bringing down these women. And a lot of them aren't even other females on social media. I'm seeing like a lot of men trying to bring these ladies down. You don't know what this means to them, dog. They've been fighting for these tag straps for over a year just to get them, to make Vince McMahon create them. And they told Vince, you give us the chance, we'll do all the work. We'll make the titles prestigious when we do have to drop them. Now you guys see the clearer picture? I hope so, brah. Sasha Banks' husband took to social media finally. Well, should I say the other one, why he did this? Because he felt he had to defend his wife, kinda. And that's because Rusev actually went to social media, and Rusev said, the botch master is unhappy. Be gone. Guys, that can only mean Sasha Banks. Now, Vince may have him go out here today and trying to clarify what he meant. Oh, it wasn't Sasha, but you have to know that Sasha Banks' situation is the hottest news story right now in pro wrestling. And she's always called by her haters the botch queen or the botch master. And you go on social media knowing she's the hottest story, knowing that she just left the company, even temporarily, and you're going to put the botch master is unhappy? Be gone. And some people think maybe it's Nia, BC, because Nia Jax is out of action with her double ACL tear, I believe it was. She's going to be out at least 9 months. We're thinking a year, by the way, guys. A little bit of news within the news. But Nia Jax is gone for at least, it looks like, a year. But that's another story we'll talk about maybe for another day. Some people are like, maybe he's talking Nia. No, guys, that wouldn't go with the tweet. Listen, the botch master is unhappy. Be gone. Nia Jax wasn't unhappy. She got injured. She's gone. So this has to be about Sasha Banks. A lot of people were joking around thinking Lana hijacked his Twitter again. She's done it in the past. But no matter who it is, man, to kick somebody when they're down, I don't know about that. And if this was actually Rusev, that's some shit, man. That shows you that Sasha didn't necessarily have a lot of friends backstage, man. Or at least a lot of people didn't really like her. We kind of knew that. But, man, even, like, for people to go on social media and start calling her out. Becky Lynch went on Twitter, too, and said, Sasha Banks, fight me. Now, we originally thought that's, like, Becky Lynch kind of sticking up for one of her fellow horsewomen. But, guys, just because they're horsewomen doesn't mean they're close friends. That started as storyline, there's mutual respect, but they all went their separate ways. They're not the best of friends. But we did think that that was Becky Lynch looking out for Sasha and maybe helping her out. But now with Rusev coming out and several other superstars alluding to the fact that Sasha was not well liked backstage, one has to think, like, did Becky Lynch maybe hear that Sasha said something about her? And maybe this was not storyline. This is Becky Lynch saying, what are you going to do about it? You know what I mean? Step up to me. Fight me. Not wrestle me. Fight me. We don't know. I don't want to speculate. I'm just saying, I originally thought, hey, thanks, Becky. You know what I mean? Stick up for Sasha and try to, lift her into the spotlight. Because that would be a damn good match. Becky, Sasha for the strap. But now I'm starting to think, damn, was Becky Lynch actually pissed off at Sasha? Who knows? After seeing the Rusev thing, that's where I'm kind of leading toward now. So, Becky Lynch is coming on Twitter telling Sasha Banks to fight me. Rusev is saying the botch master is unhappy, be gone. This led Sasha's husband to come out and finally write something on his social media. And he put, in life, and again, guys, this is Sasha Banks' husband, Makazi, I think his name is. Makazi. He does the costumes for WWE. So it looks like if Sasha's gone, looks like he's leaving too. And judging by this, looks like he is. This is, and I quote, in life, there comes a time where passion and pleasure intersect with business and finances, where the smart choice completely contradicts the right one. And when that time comes, Some people will understand, but most people won't. They'll talk about you. They'll question whether you made a mistake. They'll cry because they miss you, and they'll laugh and say good riddance. But at the end of the day, your choices are your own. That sounds like somebody who is leaving WWE, and that's Sasha's husband, who works for WWE doing their costumes. That sounds like he's leaving. And obviously, we heard Sasha's leaving, or wants to, or is quitting, or wants out. That message that I just read to you guys, straight from her husband's mouth, or hand, I think he wrote it, but it's on his social media. But that screams to me somebody who has already made up their mind, they're gone. That screams to me that Sasha and they're done. On one hand, I hope that's not the case. I love seeing Sasha Banks in WWE on my TVs on Monday nights. But I've told you guys for the last year plus, it is tragic how she's being used, even in this tag team. To me, this tag team with Bayley always seemed like a consolation prize because Vince didn't want to put her in the main matches for the Raw and SmackDown championships. And again, the Royal Rumble was just because that's all he had left. It was her and Bayley. And that was only with a 2-week build. And then afterwards, Sasha was right back in the... So that was Vince having to go with Sasha. Other than that, the past couple of years, Sasha has gotten nothing from this company. And it was tragic to see every Monday night either being used, taking pins to Sarah Logan, or taking pins to Tamina or Nia. Taking L's from all of them every single week, sometimes multiple weeks in a row. That was painful for me to watch. Because I knew how good she is. So on one hand, it's going to be sad if she leaves, but on the other hand, damn guys, this maybe is what's needed. And one last bit of information before I leave you guys today is on her Twitter, she is not following WWE or Vince McMahon on her social media. She's not following WWE or Vince. She is following AEW, Cody Rhodes, Kenny Omega, and the Young Bucks. Take that for what you will. I'm just saying, her own owner she's not following, her own company she's not following, but she is following the company of AEW. She is following their owners. Or maybe not the Khans, but their runners, Cody, Omega, and the Bucks. Take that for what it's worth, man. Maybe in her mind she's already made it up. Maybe mentally she was already out the second she found out about those straps. And she told WWE management, yeah, I'll take a week or two off to think about it. But maybe, judging by that statement from her husband, you may have seen the last of Sasha Banks in WWE. I hope that's not the case if they can work something out, if they can really get around a table and say, this is who I am, this is what I want, this is what I'm worth, I feel. If you don't, then let me out of my contract. If you do think I'm worth this, then start giving me the time of day. That's how you got to tell Vince. And if he cannot give it to you, just like in any job, your job, guys, you watching me right now, if your boss honestly disrespects you to the level to which you're going home at night and you're feeling so miserable that you're feeling fucking lifeless, no matter how much money you're making, if you're at that point in your life, you have to step up to your boss and say, I need more. I need your respect. I need the time of day. I need to know that you care as much as I care. And if he answers no to those things, you need to walk away. The universe will work itself out for you, I assure you. Believe, have your hope and faith, man, and shit will always work out. So don't worry about paying your bills, man. Your happiness comes first because that shit will kill you. That shit will kill you if you are not happy with what you're doing in life. Because that's called stress. That's called unhappiness. Those things together, you're done. Your bills will find a way to work themselves out. Your bills are not going to keep you alive. Your happiness, your sanity, your non-stress level, that's going to keep you alive, man. If Sasha Banks is miserable doing what she once loved, then that is sucking the life out of her. Fuck that. Check that. It can't happen. I love what she is doing. She is standing up for herself. You all loved it when Neville did it. Neville walked out because he didn't want to do the job to Enzo, and you loved it. Everybody loves Pac. Yeah, Pac. Good job, Neville. He's too good to be treated that way. That's what you guys said. Now Sasha's doing it. And now you have a problem. She's not that good. She's a botch master. Please. She is that good. She botches no more than every other female you can come up with. I bet you're the type that loves the Bella twins. Or I bet you think Alicia Fox is the greatest ever. Mandy Rose should have already had a championship by now. You're the type of person that spews shit like that. And you go on your social media, Sasha's horrible. As a fan, you're fucking horrible. Check that. You're a disgrace. This video went way longer than I wanted it to, but I knew it would. I knew I was going to get a little amplified. That's why I didn't drive while doing it. But I do have to take off now, guys, because, yeah, now I'm about an hour late. And if it was just me, like if I was just late getting a coffee or something, hey, man, I can deal with that. But there's people waiting for me and on me. So I do have to move on with this shit. But if more comes up, I will absolutely make another video in the future. I'll make 10 videos if I need to. But this is a subject, you guys know I love Sasha Banks. I really do. Everything about her captivates me. So this story, I'm really keeping an eye out on. I'm really focused and dialed in on this story. So if I got to make 10 more videos, I will, because I'm going to follow this situation. And if we're going to follow Sasha Banks to AEW, we're going to follow Sasha Banks to AEW or wherever she needs to be. But her talent, her skills need to be showcased the best way possible. If that means moving on from WWE, then that's what it means. I have to get out of here, guys. Much love and respect. Kick ass on this weekend. I mean that, guys. Do what you love. If you take anything from this video, right? This is like a little lesson at the end of the video. Do what you love and what you are passionate about in this world. Even if you make less money doing it than what you could be doing, making more money, but being miserable, being unhappy, do what you love to do, man. And I swear to you, the money will follow. But you have to be showcased the right way in whatever you choose to do in this world. And if you think you can make even more money and being respected more, like Sasha probably knows she can make more money in AEW and be showcased, dude, just like Sasha's doing now, you got to stand up and get the fuck out then if you're not being respected properly. You just have to. There comes times in life you have to stand up for yourselves. That's the Amplified Man's lesson to you. I've been doing it my whole life. Trust me. Trust me. You think that's whining, bitching, and complaining? Oh, if you could have saw the Amplified Man the last 15, 20 years. We got amplified on some bitches when we felt unjust. That's it. Amplified Man. Yeah! Fuck you, Billy Graham. Kofi Kingston's our champion. Deal with it. That's on yesterday's video. Yeah, check out the podcast yesterday. I'll put it in one of these corners right now. Check you.